So it is no secret to anyone that I am a huge MeetKevin fan. Uh, he is very often the first YouTuber that I watch at the gym, and today he released, at least the one I saw, I think he was released today, a great video about how over the course of 2019 he purchased 3 properties for roughly $3,000 out of pocket, controlling $2 million in inventory. I think it was $1.6 million in loans, thus giving him about $400,000 in equity. And I got to thinking about that story. I got to thinking about the young man and what he's doing these days. And I actually have a couple of predictions that I'd like to put out there. I believe he's still 27. I think that's what I heard in the video today. But I think MeetKevin, if he chooses to, could be worth at least $10 million by the time he's 29, which is, it's just a huge number. And to be worth $10 million before you're 30 is pretty impressive. I'll even go one step further that if he continues doing what he's doing, there's a very good chance that he could be worth $100 million by the time he's 35. So there's a couple of things I do want to put out there, kind of the if that needs to happen. But first off, you got to love a guy who's, has epic Nerf gun battles with his son. He's truly going around and trying to educate folks. He does amazing edits and walkthroughs and 3Ds, and he cares about the product that he's delivering. So, and the fact that he built his business by himself, you have to admire that. Starting at such a young age, starting at Jamba Juice and then be worth $10 million in my prediction before he's 30. And if he desires, $100 million by the time he's 35. So there's a couple of things that we need to, we need to pay attention to. First and foremost, a lot of this success that he has had, and again, given the stories he shared about 2019, is a rising market. I don't think there's any question, and I don't think he would argue that a rising market has certainly helped his net worth. The ability to find wedge deals, find properties that need 40K in work for 100K in equity is possible in a rising market because the existing sellers may not appreciate what they have, they may not know what's going on around them, and there's just lots and lots of reasons. So being a knowledgeable expert in the arena, having the ability, as he says, just to scroll the internet drinking his coffee. He talked about that in the video. I think he talked about using Redfin twice and Facebook once. His ability to look for and find deals in a rising market is truly helpful. The other thing that needs to be said, or at least reminded, is, again, in his 2019 examples, he talked about several lending options that won't always be available, right? We were investing in an environment where banks turned off. In the video that he put out today, he talked about getting a business line of credit, which very easily could get turned off if the economy turned. And he talked about getting a home equity line. And again, those could be turned off in a changing environment. Not to mention the fact that in his first example, he talked about getting 2 different private lenders. I think one was his brother-in-law for 100K, and the other was his dad for 70K, I want to say. So I don't know if those were seconds and thirds or how those were structured, but private lenders, could certainly go away in a changing environment. The other thing that I think MeetKevin really should think about doing if the market keeps going is, I think he needs to think, he could think bigger, right? He could do the Grant Cardone model and not just do houses. Maybe he goes up and does fourplexes. Maybe he does small commercials. Maybe he changes markets and goes out to the coast, Santa Barbara or Orange County or something else, right? He could go bigger. Also, he could really get active looking for private money. I don't know that he's done that a lot. He obviously talked about his brother-in-law and his father, but if he wanted, he could certainly use his reputation. He could create something like Cardone Capital where he, I don't know, creates these different syndications or whatnot. So he clearly has the skill, clearly has the reputation that if he wanted to, he could. So again, I think this is just once again showing all of us what's possible, right? Meet Kevin, or Kevin, has done a tremendous job of grinding, learning his market, learning his craft, and he's certainly been benefited by a rising market. But I think Kevin's going to be fine no matter what. The guy makes $1 million a year all in based on some of his videos. So even if he has to carry his properties for a little while because they turn negative, Kevin's going to be fine. In fact, I think a downturn would benefit Kevin a lot in the long term because, man, he would pick up dozens of units in a bad economy. The guy's just a rock star. So in the end, I loved Kevin's video this morning. You should watch it. I think it's 17 minutes long. Talked about how he got 3 houses for, I think it was total value at 2 million for only $3,000 out of pocket. Found them all online. Used his friend's business line, equity line, to sort of fill in after a first, and it's just a great story. And of course, I love those Nerf gun battles he has with his son. Those are pretty fun. So in the end, I want to say congratulations, Meet Kevin. I really do see $10 million before your 30th birthday. And if you want, I'm not sure if you want to, but if you want, you could easily be worth $100 million by the time you're 35. So at the end of the day, have fun, take care, and let's be nice to each other. Take care.